Most people have never been where I've been. Most people haven't done what I've done. I know if I'm a coward or not. I know if I'm afraid. I know myself. I've been hurt. I've been stabbed. I've had my face broken. I broke my hand in 6 places and fought another 8 rounds. I left there and had emergency surgery with 12 breaks in my hand. I know what I can do. I know everything about myself. There's nothing more spiritual than violence. This is the most spiritual thing on the planet, violence. Mm-hmm. Violence is a universal of the human condition. It's the constant. It's always been there. It'll always be there. I get people ask me this all the time. I want to look for more spiritual meaning. I say, okay, go down to a fighter's gym, get your ass kicked, and then try and do something about it. There's all the spirituality you need. You got to stay breathing when someone's trying to kill you. That's spirituality. I understand myself completely. I don't feel like there's any part of me that has been hidden or suppressed. I just because I am, like you said, I'm very clearly a certain way, very clearly dominant. I don't think there's a part of me that's hidden or suppressed. And maybe, not maybe, in fact, I will say certainly, I've been conditioned to be this way. But I think I've been raised for exceptionalism. Since as young as I can remember, I've been raised to be exceptional. I'll give you an example. So I tell stories about my dad and people often say he was way too harsh. I thank the Lord above I had the father I had. So when I got moved up 3 grades in school, they moved me up because in the SATs it was like 400 questions and I got 2 wrong. And my dad gave me $20 and then he took $5 back for the 2 I got wrong, 5 each. So I had $10 total. And his lesson was, you still got 2 wrong. He was a perfectionist. Now, why was he a perfectionist? Well, it's because he was a chess grandmaster. And in chess, it's perfection or you lose. Why did I become a 4-time kickboxing world champion? Well, because it's perfection or you lose. There is no, it's okay to be there's no sloppiness in fighting. 1 shot, it's over. Same thing with chess. There's no sloppy. You lose control of 1 square, the game's over. I've lived in a perfectionist realm since the dawn of time. So my whole entire life has been a perfectionist life. This is how I view my life, and I don't think any other way to accept the world is okay. I don't think it's okay to be okay with losing or okay with less than the best. I don't think any of that's acceptable because I've been raised this way, but this is the exact point. My son will be exactly the same. He has no choice because he's a Tate, and Tates go on into eternity to rule the earth. We were very, very poor. Me, my mother, and my brother, when we moved to England, we grew up in a homeless hostel. So I grew up at the very end of the socioeconomic ladder. I had a worse start than 99% of people. But I lived my life when I was poor, furious at the fact I was poor. Because my ego, and I'll be honest, my ego is at a point where I didn't understand how other people can afford Ferraris and I can't. I would be 18, walk into college, and a Ferrari would drive past. And it would ruin my week. And everyone would be like, what's wrong with you? I'd be like, don't you see, this fat fuck can buy a Ferrari and I can't. Why? He's not a better man, he's not a better person than me. I'm just as good as him, if not better. I couldn't stand the fact that there are people who could do things I couldn't. So this gave me unlimited motivation to get rich. Now I found a way to get rich, and I believe that anyone who really, really, truly wants to get rich will get rich, one way or another. But that's because it bothered me for the first 10 years. You know, my 20s, I was broke most of it. Broke most of my 20s. So I couldn't stand being ordinary. And my question is this: you're saying ordinary people need to come in terms of their ordinariness. I don't think they do. I think they need to become extraordinary. I think they need to try harder. Mm-hmm. This is the greatest thing. This is the greatest and worst thing about being a man is that all of your value is built. If you're a woman, you're born beautiful, game's over. You're born pretty, that's it, it's done. That you have your value. Now you have 6 or 7 years, you're valuable. You could be a moron, you're still on a billionaire's boat because you're hot. Done. As a man, doesn't matter if you're born good looking. If you're stupid and weak and broke, you're still gonna struggle. It doesn't matter if you're born rich. Like I said, if you're still stupid, weak, socially inept. As a man, you need to have it all. You need to have wisdom, you need to be funny, you need to be tall. Well, tall is one thing you can't fix. Strong, good looking helps. They like the idea of you being able to fight. You need interesting stories, you need money, you need freedom to be able to say to a girl, fuck it, we're going to Moscow, pack now. You need all these things. And a lot of that is self-built, not all of it. But a lot of it is. So when I speak to ordinary people, I say, well, how are you trying to stop yourself from being ordinary? And a lot of them aren't. Well, then what the fuck are you going to live an ordinary life if you have ordinary results? I couldn't tolerate that. You could give me, I already had a very bad financial start. I had a huge advantage genetically. But even if I had a huge genetic disadvantage, there's no way I would have been a normal person. One way or another, no way. Because I know life's too short for that shit. I want people to, I couldn't live that way. And I don't know why people are trying to come to terms with that. I don't think you should. I think you should be constantly pushing to be extraordinary, no matter who you are.
I don't care how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't care if I feel happy or sad. It doesn't really affect what I do each day. I do the exact same things. I act the exact same way. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't put weight to the significance of the emotion. So I always consider myself a happy person, but if I woke up and I was slightly less happy one day than another, it wouldn't affect anything I do and I wouldn't put any relevance to it. I'm human and that's life. And so yeah, am I any happier now that I have hundreds of millions of dollars than before I was broke?
Yeah.
Not really, but I was never unhappy. I'm the same state that I was then that I am now. I have work to do and I will do it. It's as simple as that. Well, also there's no light without dark and there's no joy without pain. You can't have a rainbow without a little rain.
Exactly.
And no matter how hard you chase pleasure and happiness, there's going to be dips and troughs in between. There's going to be come downs and downtrends. And you're going to have the juxtaposition between that time you were laughing your head off and acting giddish like a child and the time that you feel depressed as such. And I think it's much better to just adopt a very disciplined, stoic mindset. I'm always the same base level of happy regardless. If I lost all of my money today, I would be the same happy. Mm-hmm. If my net worth quadrupled, I'd be the same happiness.
Yeah.
As long as I am alive, which is a struggle, unfortunately, in the current climate, but as long as I'm alive and the people I care about and love are alive, and as long as God gives me the honor of doing my duties and providing for the people I care about, as long as I get to wake up and know that there's a whole bunch of people in the world who need me and I get to work hard to please them and do good for society and good for the world,
Yeah.
then I'm a vessel of God and I'm happy enough to survive. That's all I look at it as. I don't ever consider how do I feel. That doesn't cross my mind. I have things to do. I have things to do.
You're too busy to think about that.
I'm too busy. I have things to do every single day. I have very important things to do, and how I feel really is not going to affect how I complete those tasks.
Right.
And when I speak to men, they say I'm unhappy or I need to be happier. I think that's absolutely the wrong frame of life. You're a man, you have duty, you have honor, you have things you should be doing regardless of how you feel. And the people who are perma-obsessed with happiness or sadness, I just think it's the wrong paradigm to view the lens of life. I think you should get up and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, man. You're a positive influence, man. I don't know what's all the stuff, man. You're just reinforcing positivity in people.
I'm absolutely a positive influence, and that's the problem. The key word there is influence. The reason the Matrix has attacked me is because of that. It's because I am an influence.
Yeah.
And when
they don't like influence.
They don't like influence because I've not sold my soul. They don't control me. And normally when you become massively influential, they control you. You either sign a contract or you're a sponsor or you're a manager,
a record label,
whatever. They have some kind of leverage over you to make sure you only say what you are supposed to say. I'm an individual which they do not control. I have mass influence over the population of Earth.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody like me who is principled, who has morals, who believes in God, who will not sell their soul, will not promote degeneracy, who also has mass influence, they see me as a threat because they say there are certain agendas which he will not promote because of his morality.
Right.
And we need immoral people who have sold their soul